Apple has finally decided to break its long-standing routine, and the impact is shaking the entire smartphone industry. After years of slow and predictable iPhone updates, Apple is now changing designs, features, and even launch strategies at a pace no one expected, and the iPhone 18 sits right at the center of this disruption. For a long time, iPhone launches followed the same familiar formula, with small camera upgrades, modest performance gains, and only minor design tweaks, but that era now appears to be over. Starting with the iPhone 17 Pro and continuing with the upcoming iPhone 18, Apple seems far more willing to experiment, and this sudden shift has caught competitors completely off guard, leaving the industry struggling to react. Much of the early confusion has been about what the iPhone 18 will actually look like, especially when it comes to the display. For months, rumors claimed Apple would replace the dynamic island with a punch-hole camera, but that story turned out to be based largely on a translation mistake. In reality, Apple is expected to keep the dynamic island, but make it noticeably smaller, with Face ID sensors moving under the display on the Pro models. Because those sensors will no longer sit inside the island, Apple no longer needs such a large cutout, allowing it to shrink the feature rather than remove it completely. This approach lets Apple preserve one of its most recognizable design elements while moving closer to a true full-screen experience. The confusion does not stop there, because Apple's launch plans for the iPhone 18 series are also unclear. Some reports suggest the base iPhone 18 might not even arrive in 2026 and could instead launch in early 2027, which would be a major change from Apple's usual schedule. The idea behind this shift is that Apple wants its more affordable models to compete more directly with Samsung phones released around the same time, but the result is that many leaks are now difficult to interpret, with even reliable insiders struggling to keep track of which model is which. Adding to the chaos, Apple is also preparing two entirely new products alongside the iPhone 18 lineup, a foldable iPhone and the so-called iPhone Air. The foldable iPhone alone has already caused panic, with conflicting reports about its final design and whether Apple has fully solved the crease issue. While Samsung is believed to have largely eliminated the crease in its foldables, several reports suggest Apple's first foldable may still show a small crease, and even leaked dimensions of the device have pushed competitors to respond. Samsung and several Chinese brands are reportedly working on new foldables with similar sizes, including a wider Galaxy Fold model expected to launch alongside the Galaxy Z Fold 8. The rumored iPhone Air has also created shockwaves, as leaks about a thinner and lighter iPhone prompted Samsung to rush out the Galaxy S25 Edge, a phone that reportedly failed to sell well and may lead Samsung to drop the Edge model entirely with the Galaxy S26 series. Another major ripple effect of Apple's plans is the renewed race for under-display Face ID, as Chinese manufacturers now scramble to match Apple's move toward hiding advanced 3D face recognition hardware beneath the screen rather than relying on basic face unlock systems. Looking further ahead, all signs point toward the iPhone 20 Pro as Apple's real end goal, with insiders claiming the company is preparing something special for the iPhone's 20th anniversary. That device is rumored to feature a completely uninterrupted display with no notch, no punch hole, and no dynamic island, with the screen curving seamlessly into the frame on all sides. In that sense, the iPhone 18 is just another step along the path, gradually shrinking visual interruptions and preparing users for a future where the screen is truly edge-to-edge. Meanwhile, the rest of the industry is reacting in real time, with companies copying Apple's camera designs, launching their own ultra-thin Air-style phones, and even adopting dynamic island-like interfaces, as seen with Xiaomi's recent software changes. Apple has clearly entered a new phase where it is no longer playing it safe, and that experimentation is creating chaos across the smartphone world. Some brands are rushing unfinished products to market, others are canceling projects entirely, and everyone is watching Apple's next move. For users, this moment feels refreshing, because after years of predictable launches, smartphones finally feel exciting again, and while the iPhone may 18th not be the final destination, it represents a major turning point for both Apple and the industry as a whole.